to order. So as not to get in trouble with anybody who could get us in trouble. First order of business is approval of minutes from the April 12th board workshop, which is where we did our marketing plan.
Move acceptance of the minutes. Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. It's approved. Next, approval of minutes of the April 19th board meeting. We've been here a lot lately.
Yeah, we have. And I'll move acceptance of the minutes as well.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor of approval, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's approved. Katie is supposed to be here to give us a financial update. She doesn't seem to be. Let's. We went through this thing pretty well last week.
Yeah, we did.
You had a chance to glance over this at least.
Yeah, it hasn't changed much since last week.
No, it hasn't changed since last week.
The only thing I would like to say is that under our operating account, we'll be getting our other quarterly check on Friday, so that'll be going in. I'm not sure how much it is yet, but that will be going in on Friday.
All right. And now that the South Street mess is cleaned up, we anticipate some comeback there.
Absolutely. From a leisure standpoint, especially.
Okay, we have a little making up to do. Anybody see anything in the financials that we need to talk about? Yes, we spent a lot of time on this last week, so I think it's all pretty familiar.
Do we need a motion on that? Or?
We don't. However, the next item, approval of the marketing plan, we will, that is an action item. And we are going to consider approval of the fiscal year 2018 marketing plan. Do I hear a motion?
Move acceptance of the marketing plan.
We have a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. Any discussion? Everybody had a chance to look at this thing? Comments, questions, problems, issues? Here again, we spent a good amount of time on this as a board and with staff. You feeling good about this? Me?
Yeah. It's more like a hand. Yeah, it's good.
I'll call for the question.
All right. All in favor of approving the marketing plan as submitted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Marketing plan is approved, and that goes to City Council when?
First Tuesday in June, which I think is the 6th.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what month it is. Thank you. Has city staff seen this? Let's make sure that they do now that the board has approved it.
Okay.
Let's make sure the city staff sees it, so if there are any concerns, any questions, any issues, we can address them before we go to the council.
Okay.
Okay? And the next item is our budget for next year. Here again, we spent a considerable amount of time on this last week. Carl, what's changed?
Okay, we you'd had some questions at our last meeting on the elevator contract and on our copier lease, and those the elevator contract is in place for another 4.5 years, and as far as the copier lease, that is we've used 44 months out of 60 so far on that. So we still have a little ways to go on that. So
Copier was how?
I'm sorry?
What was the
We're
cost?
44 months into a 60-month lease.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we had discussed dropping the internet and telephone to 4,500, which we did from 6,000. I removed the consulting fee of 2,500, put that back into our advertising. We increased the meetings from the 500 that we're showing to 1,500. And so we had put in 190,000 for the advertising, and that has now gone back to 196,000. And after going back, I'm glad you asked to check on that merchandise that we had flip-flopped. So that instead of being 7,500 is 5,400 is what that's going to cost. So we dropped that down in that. Now, another question you had was about the porta potty. I spoke with Amy about it. I mean, she's willing to take it back over, but I think she still needs to run that by Pam or whatever at the city. Is that correct?
Jim's approved it. I just need to make sure financially that the way our money turns over, that we can put it into one of my accounts that doesn't roll over every year, so we can hold on to it year to year.
However, I have given you an additional budget with that showing, and so if you decide you would like to approve the budget predicated on whether or not she can do that, I mean, that's up to the board. I don't know how exactly from the Roberts rules that would work, but
I certainly don't have any problem with approving the budget, knowing that things are going to change. If that's one of them, there will be others as well.
I'm looking at revenue part would change.
Have we notified the IRS of our intention to change our accounting practices?
We have not, because we're still trying to get an accountant. I am going to contact, I'm going to see if the man that's a CPA that had been working with Diana is there. I'm going to try to make an appointment and talk to him, because supposedly he was doing these stuff after passing to try to make sure all this stuff is moving. So I'm going to talk to him and see where we're at on that. I'm going to try to get that accomplished.
We really need to do that notification. We have not heard back from any of the other accountants that you reached out to.
Other than Axel and Rhodey.
Rick, are there others in town who do nonprofit stuff?
I'm not aware specifically of that. I didn't ask the guy that does our church stuff if he's, I mean, it's nonprofit just like we are, but he retired about 6 months ago, and I think he still does a little bit of stuff, on the side, but if you guys want to contact him, I can give you his name.
Do you know, anybody who's CPA can do our audit, or do we have to have somebody who's certified to work with public funds? Or?
I don't know that there's a requirement that they have to be necessarily certified in nonprofit type issues. But
Well, I do know that Mr. Jeffers has asked that whoever we do contact and would like to use it, contact him prior to officially bringing him on board so that they meet.
I just don't know how deep our bench is. If there's a number of folks around who can do it, or if one of them pretty severe by certain restrictions. But we've got to get. All right. Anything else on the budget? Are we ready to go with this?
call for the question.
All in favor of approving the budget as submitted, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
We did call it for a motion.
Yeah, we got a motion second before we talk about it. Committee reports are going to be kind of quick, I would imagine. John, you got anything going on other than what you got going on?
Got a lot going on. We're working it.
I didn't get who made the motion, second budget.
Right.
Rick made the motion on the budget.
Yeah.
I've got Rick and Kelly.
That was for the marketing plan.
Did I mess that up?
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I seconded the marketing.
I make the motion. We approve.
Oh, Robert's rolling in his grave.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry. So, you got anything else going on?
No. I'm going to take the summer off, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kelly. Rick, I'm sorry.
We don't have a report from our committee. We've developed the forms, revised them, simplified them, etc. And we're happy with them. We have a city commissioner that's on our committee. So Mike didn't have any other concerns about it either. So if you want to, we can bring those for board review if they just want to see them, or we can just keep working with them. So
Whenever you're ready, let's bring them to the board.
All right. I'll ask Carl if he can do that at the next board meeting.
All right. It's all you.
Well, our committee, I guess, turned in a report for the things we've been working on over the past few months. So if there's been any action on that report, I'm not aware of it. As far as moving forward, now that I have a nice relationship with our friends at TTIA, we're going to be asking them for a little direction and maybe some online resources, some free stuff that would help existing and incoming board members that can be easily assessed online, or maybe that they could share with us. And then, of course, we'll continue talking about strategic planning meeting coming up in February of next year.
Okay. I've gone through the bylaws and the questions that your committee had on some of the bylaws, and I think that it's probably time that we take a holistic look at our bylaws and see if there's some things that need attention. So I'm going to make some suggestions and send back to your committee for some further changes to our bylaws. I think there are some legacy issues there that may have made sense at one time, but may not. Okay?
Okay.
So I'll get that back to you.
Okay.
And that brings us to item 8. It's Carl, Executive Director.
All right, sir. Well, we've had a relatively busy, I guess you could say, period. At Facebook, right now we have 8,178 followers as of yesterday. And our website, we had 6,389 unique visitors in April. Of that, 74.4% were new to our website, which is always good to hear. The top 5 countries viewing the website were United States, UK, India, Canada, and Germany. The top 5 states viewing the website were Texas, Louisiana, Florida, California, and Arizona. Top 5 inquiry states for information were Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, California, and Pennsylvania. As far as walk-ins, we had 1,271 walk-ins in April. We were down a little bit from last year, which was 1,449. The top 5 walk-in countries were United States, Netherlands, Canada, Belgium, and Norway. Top 5 walk-in states were Texas, Louisiana, Illinois, Arkansas, and Virginia. Top 5 walk-in cities were Houston, Austin, DFW, Shreveport, and Spring, Texas, which pretty much always stays within pretty much that confines. Top 5 ways they heard about us were family and friends, social media, SFA, website, and Texas Highways. And the Texas Highways this is the second month in a row that that's been the case. So that's something we want to keep in mind when we're looking at our advertising budget. Top 5 areas of interest were history, antiques, arts and culture, Azalea Trail, and outdoors activities. Okay, and as far as what we've done this past few weeks, Joanna and the Visitor Center staff assisted the Powell Pollinators Conference with welcome bags, name tags, plus registration assistance. And of course, Joanna's been helping them with room rates and so forth. She's been working on this for close to a year, so this was a culmination. And from what we've been able to gather, they were very happy with their stay, and I think we'll get some good, resilient business out of that. Sales and marketing departments worked with St. Augustine, Toledo Bend, and Nacogdoches to host 11 travel writers on a 3-day FAM tour to cover the Camino Real. Again, Joanna was really the one that put all this together. Was a coordinator, and Sherry and I took them on the trip. It was very well received. We've already seen some good response on some articles that are coming out right now. And they spent the night here, went out to see the winery, they went out to see the Zitnack. They went downtown and had dinner and walked around the area. Then I think you took them out to the distillery, is that correct? So they saw that, took them out to Pine Creek for dinner. So they got a good rounded feel for the area. And actually, when we got them back on Sunday, when they got back, actually 2 or 3 of them were actually still walking around town. So that turned out very well. So I think we're going to get some good response out of that. And of course, again, Joanna helped with the Vintage Market Days again, and any updates on that you want to give the board?
It was probably the most successful of the 3, just based on traffic. We had more overnights. I apologize, I should have had that report. There were so many people here from Louisiana, it was amazing. But that was where her effort was put in her marketing. And that was from Jill. So, well over 6,500 people. And it was knocked out of the ballpark. Unfortunately, she's selling that franchise. She's selling the franchise. So, someone from Lufkin's purchasing it. So, I don't know if that means it'll go to Lufkin or if we have an opportunity to. But after this November event, it's up to me. It's just management of the franchise.
That's the end of my report, sir.
I still don't understand that.
What, you don't understand what?
Vintage trade.
Well, you'll have to.
I cannot get my mind around this at all.
It's a thing.
It's a
thing, apparently.
And it has groupies.
Oh, it does. They follow.
Yeah, sure.
Follow it.
Yeah, we get people from all over. But she's the reason. Part of
Like a moving antique mall?
Yeah.
I would have liked to have one thing I forgot. Very quickly.
It's a thing.
I don't get it.
Sherry and I also went up to Wascom Travel Center on last Friday, and it was National Tourism Week, and part of that celebration was that the Welcome Centers invited the area destination marketing organizations to come up and set up a table, give out stuff, and so forth. And we had a pretty good response, I think. Quite a few people from out of the area, but quite a few of them were aware of where we were and have been here before, but some of them were not, so we gave them plenty of information on how to get here.
All right. We have some tasks to accomplish this summer. We'll have a round of interviews to replace some board members who are due to rotate off. want to deal with incoming board. What's the new terminology? We're onboarding.
And I keep throwing around.
So we're going to be onboarding.
We still officially rotate off the old schedule, or is there a new one?
That's still in flux at the moment. I think the general consensus seems to be that we're going to bring new people in July, but not official until October 1.
Not active voting board
Not
members.
voting members until October 1.
And that would be different than what?
It would be different, yeah.
Okay. So I'm here till October.
Through September, yes.
That'll give us a chance to get them up to speed before they actually have.
And that's a good idea.
I thought so.
They'll be able to go through a really good orientation time, get to know staff, get to know the plans and our mission, how we operate.
And what about the committee's part? Will those people carry over?
That, I'm not sure.
I don't know. It depends on who they are.
Okay.
We may reshuffle the deck depending on who we get. That is the end of any action items that we have. However, we still need to take care of one piece of business. Our marketing director is leaving us. Unless we can talk her out.
I just looked at her and said she had to stay. And she said she'd stay through the meeting.
Well, that's more than some of our board members.
Yeah, I didn't do very good on my start. Yeah. Now what I did, I failed in my sales ability.
Better than some. Kelly, what are we going to do for this person?
Well, I'm sure you will eloquently express our thanks and appreciation for her service and what she's done in the time that she's been here.
In writing.
Yes, over the years, including the wonderful things you've done just here recently with growth and development of the CVB. I know we do investigate, and apparently you do have a wonderful brick placed in Plaza Principal for your family, but we think it's appropriate to acknowledge you for your service on the staff. So I think we're going to have that placed, and in that way you can visit and take selfies with it every weekend. Come visit.
That's right. Oh, so we're going to put the brick.
When you volunteer upstairs.
Well, thank y'all very much. I appreciate that.
No, we really do appreciate what you've done. This was a really important transition time for us as a CVB. Made it work in a way that I don't know that anything else could have. So we really do appreciate you.
Thank you very much. And it's
We're going to
been
miss you a lot.
a pleasure working with all of y'all and the team here and y'all. So thanks again for everything.
We're still steady.
You can still stay. Let's get her crying on camera.
It's hard to do, you know.
And I think we should probably plan a little something next couple of weeks to bring Sherry back to town and
Right.
raise a glass and thank her more for her service.
I'll put that on my to-do list.
Yeah.
You're not going to be that far away.
Well, she'll be back next Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
As in a week from today or 2 weeks?
Week
A
from
week
today.
from today.
What's
Yeah.
that?
What's that?
Why
Some
not?
appointments, follow-up.
Let's see if we can put something together.
That's Wine Wednesday.
That's great.
Well, that's what she likes.
I'm just glad this is going to be on TV. All right, folks. We have done the business that we came here to do, so I'm going to say that we begin on Wednesday, June 21st.